What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we're going to be jumping into Night Terrors. This is the comic event that is taking over DC Comics for the next 2 months. And in this video, we are going to be focusing on the Joker. Now, if you haven't checked out Batman and Night Terrors First Blood, I highly recommend that you do so. It's going to let you know exactly what's going on, setting up everything that is about to take place. But to quickly recap what we have seen, is a new character by the name of Insomnia. He is searching for what is called the Nightmare Stone, planning to take over everything and everybody. Insomnia has put the world to sleep, villains and heroes alike. And we have already seen what Batman and Damian Wayne have been going through. But now we're gonna jump into the world of villains. We're gonna see what the Joker's nightmares are all about. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so this story is told by Matthew Rosenberg. And like any good Joker story, it starts us off in Gotham City. We have Batman versus the Joker, as these two adversaries stand off against one another. In the typical fashion, Batman letting Joker know that he won't get away with this. And when the Batman jumps in at the Joker, we see Batman slip on a puddle. In doing so, he cracks his face open, with the Joker laughing at him, telling him that he probably needs some better shoes with better traction. But when the Joker waits for Batman to get up, we see that the Bat doesn't rise up. We see the Dark Knight fall. In a freak accident, Batman smashed his face and he freaking killed himself. And that leaves the Joker in disbelief, wondering if this might be some kind of trick, trying to figure out how this is even possible. They have played this game over and over and over again. But on this fateful night, the Joker lost his nemesis, as they go down to ground level to check and see if Batman actually died, having some of his goons give him a poke, thinking that maybe he's unconscious. But when they turn him over, his bones, his body, twisted and mangled in the worst way possible. There is no doubt, the Batman is dead. And when the Joker's guys ask what we should do now, the Joker says we should just probably pack up and leave. He doesn't even want to continue the heist that they were doing, saying that there's simply no point in doing it anymore. He tells the guys to throw Batman's body into the trunk, heading off to a local diner. This is where they plan their next move. Some even suggesting that maybe they should go after Superman. Killing Batman was this easy, even though they technically didn't kill him. And even Joker goes to point this out, that there's no way they could really kill Superman. They don't even have a method of doing so. And when it comes to Batman, they didn't do anything. He just kind of fell off the roof and died. And so with the goon saying we gotta do something, so why don't we go try and kill Green Arrow? With the Joker's enthusiasm for everything really just going out the window, he says sure, why not, whatever, let's go do it. As we pick up 2 days later, we have the Joker being a pirate. On this ship, they have unrefined uranium ore, and him and his crew, they have come to take it as their own. Talking to the captain, ensuring that there are no alarms, no booby traps, no secret paramilitary security team that is waiting to ambush them. As the Joker learns that they can really just take what they want. This has taken all the fun out of it. The truth is, he doesn't even care what they have. Plutonium, uranium, it doesn't matter to him. Ever since the Batman died, the Joker has lost the will to be a criminal. The thrill of being a criminal is no longer there for him. As we pick up at his headquarters, we see that a crime wave has hit Gotham. With Batman no longer around, the criminal elements in this city, they are going crazy. But the Joker, he's been sitting at home watching The Real Housewives of Metropolis. And though he finished it yesterday, he's planning on doing a rewatch. Even his henchmen at this point are sick and tired of the Joker. He has lost all ambition. He has no drive to be the crime lord of this city. Now that the Batman is gone, the Joker has no will to do anything. And so Joker decides to go get a 9 to 5. That's what takes us over to Wayne Enterprises, currently having a conversation with what we know to be Insomnia. The Joker doesn't know who this is. He assumes that he is just being hired on board, going under the guise of Mr. Kaiser. The Joker gets hired and now he is simply working for Wayne Enterprises, with the Joker thinking that maybe he'll cause a little mayhem from the inside. Going into the database, he tries to find where all the money is, where's all the secret weapons projects. But he has access to none of this, with a lady by the name of Helen coming in and introducing herself. The Joker says that his computer is broken, that he can't access the money, the secret files, none of the weapons blueprints. He needs any of this. Now Helen, she laughs this off. The Joker doesn't find it very funny, but Helen goes on to explain what they actually do here. They are in charge of approving the AERs, the Approved Expense Reports. But they don't decide where the money goes. They don't move the money around for them. Their only job is to approve the already approved reports. And the Joker, he starts to crack a little bit, recognizing that they are just cogs in the machine. Even for a brief moment, he pulls out a knife thinking that maybe he'll kill Helen, but he stays his hand. And that's what takes us to a couple weeks later. He has been working this job for a minute now. With the boss coming into the room, everybody clears out. He pulls out some papers and shows the Joker that he really hasn't been doing his job. The boss not even sure if the Joker actually knows what he's doing. But this is where the Joker takes a microwave and he smashes it over this guy's head. With it still plugged in, he turns it on. He freaking microwaves this guy, with him taking off for the day and then returning later the next. It looks like the Joker is about to do something crazy. As he goes on his speech, we see Insomnia come up to him. Insomnia being the boss in this nightmare. Once the Joker has finished his little speech, he heads up to the office with Insomnia. They talk about the gentleman that the Joker had killed yesterday. Now they're saying that this was nothing more than some kind of freak accident. We see the Joker pulling a mask out of his bag. As Insomnia continues on his little story, the Joker exposes the explosives that are tied to his body. Even with all of this on, Insomnia says that he's just a real jokester. But more than that, he is a rising star. That Bruce Wayne himself has taken a shine to him. What Insomnia is doing is offering him a managerial position. Just when the Joker was about to blow up this freaking building, he gets promoted. And so we jump to a few weeks later, with the Joker going on and talking about all of these graphs, talking about their numbers, how they have been on a decline. After the meeting has come to a close, he gets invited out. The others are going out for drinks and they have invited him along. And so as we pick up at the pub a few hours later, the Joker is having a grand old time, drinking with all of his coworkers, just having a blast. But as Joker makes his way home this evening, walking by himself down an alleyway, he has two individuals that seem to be following him. As he makes a run for it, that's where he gets clocked in the face turning around a corner. As these thugs begin to just lay down some hate on him, the Joker fights back, putting his thumbs through the eyes of one of these individuals, the other two grabbing hold of him. The Joker asking who would dare cross paths with him. That is where we have Gaggy, one of his old henchmen, now out here doing low-end crime, jumping people in alleyways, apologizing to the Joker but saying they looked everywhere, they didn't know what happened to him. But the rumors are, Batman is back in town. Leaving these guys in an alleyway, he takes off. As he goes into work the next day, they all sit around and they talk about the crime in the city. The Joker making a joke about how Batman is dead in his closet, but everybody simply laughs. He's the office jokester. Nobody takes him serious. But they have heard word that Batman is alive, even some of them saying that they witnessed seeing him sometime in the night. And as the Joker heads home, he sees that bat signal up in the sky. He heads to his apartment. He turns on the TV, he grabs himself a beer. On the news, what they are talking about is Bruce Wayne. They talk about Wayne Enterprises. They talk about how the Batman had broke up a major jewel heist last night. But the only thing the Joker cares about is getting back to the channel with the Real Housewives of Metropolis. behind him in his closet, we see the body of Batman. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with a couple of thugs getting ready to rob a place. With an explosion, we see these individuals trying to make their way inside. But before they can, the Batman arrives. And he wastes no time throwing his batarangs. As he begins to fight them, he kicks one of them into the flames, and this man catches a blaze. The other not believing his eyes because the word is, Batman is dead. But when Batman throws his batarangs and lands into the eyes of this man, Batman has to ask, what eyes are you seeing this with? And this is where it is revealed that Batman is none other than the Joker, a variation of the Batman who laughs. And this is when the Joker wakes up, waking up with his wife Lena. The Joker's not really sure what that was, believing that maybe it was just a nightmare. This is when their young son Albert walks into the room. Worried that he might be late to practice, we are seeing the Joker is living the regular life. He's working a regular job, he has a wife, he has a son, he's just doing the day-to-day. But that's what takes us over to Wayne Enterprises. Right now, he is giving a job interview to Mr. Freeze. And what Joker wants to know is why Freeze wants to work here. And Freeze tells him that Batman has become more violent and started to murder. Many criminals are seeking legitimate roles to lay low until he is dealt with. And while the Joker thinks that this is funny at first, ignoring the fact that Batman died recently, he does wonder why criminals think that this is a safe harbor for them to be, and they think this because of the Joker. This is where Freeze says not to play coy, that it is unbecoming, that the Joker's humor, it never worked on him before, and it's not gonna work now. Trying to figure out if this is one of the Joker's jokes, or if he really doesn't know who he is anymore. This is where Freeze grabs a hold of him. Everyone knows that he is hiding out here while the Bat hunts. All of the criminals see him. They all believe that the Joker is doing a ploy, that this is some big scheme, big game for him to score big. And the other criminals want in on it. But with the Joker saying that this has all been enlightening, that they'll be in touch, bringing in the next applicant, it is none other than Dr. Crane. It appears that the criminal world is trying to go legitimate so they can stay hidden away. This is where we pick up that evening. The Joker fast asleep. This is where we see him start to sleepwalk. Sleepwalking over to Batman, the dead corpse lying in that closet. You see, the Joker has no realization that he is the Batman because his subconscious is doing this while he is asleep. He has become the Dark Knight, but he is completely unaware of his actions while he is Batman. He has become the savior of this city. He has become the Thomas Wayne of his Gotham. We see him jump into an alley and he begins to lay down Gaggy and some thugs. And we see the Batman who laughs laying down the hate. Cracking bones, cracking skulls, breaking necks. He is serving up violence on a silver platter. When it comes down to Gaggy, Gaggy is trying to talk to him, trying to say, remember who I am because I worked for you. But this Joker has no memory of who he is. And so taking the bat from Gaggy, we see the Batman who laughs crack open the skull of Gaggy. He sends him straight to hell. And this is what picks us up a little bit later. The company baseball game, as the Joker slides in for a safe. This is LexCorp versus Wayne Enterprises. But when one of the opponents begin to start saying some words to the Joker, we see Joker choke this dude out right here in front of everybody. Lex and Bruce Wayne yelling at each other saying to get your guy off of my guy. But still, nobody stops this. The Joker kills this guy right here in front of everybody, and they all simply walk away. But as they do so, Bruce Wayne comes up to the Joker. He invites him to dinner later this evening. And that's what takes us over to Wayne Manor, with the Joker being let in. Insomnia is the butler. The Joker comes in and the two sit down. Bruce Wayne goes on to say how he has been doing great work for the company, but he also feels like something's going on with him. And while Batman is brought up, Joker says that he believes that Batman died, but people keep on seeing him. At first, Bruce thinks that this is funny, because if the Batman ever died, people would lose their mind. Everything would be so boring. If he had heard that the Batman died, he'd practically forget who he was. That if Batman died, someone would just have to recreate him, make an imposter to keep the folks happy, saying that maybe that's what's wrong with you. Batman died and part of you died with him, that you're obsessed with him, and that you're so broken now. Maybe this imposter is awakening something in you. But then Bruce says that he's just kidding, that we all know Batman is fine watching over all of them. This is where we pick up at Wayne Enterprises a couple days later. The Joker completely spacing out during a meeting. And while he was just called a nut job, this is where we see the Joker take a pencil and he stabs the guy to death, with Insomnia coming into the room saying that he wants to have a word with him, asking if something is bothering him because he seems very irritable. But Insomnia says that whatever's going on with you, don't worry about it. That if what Bruce Wayne had said to you the other night is really bothering you, remember that he plays tricks on people, that he likes to play games. The important thing is to remember how much you love this job and everything that you have done has never made you happier, that this is where you belong. But returning home that evening, this is where he runs into little Albert opening up the closet. In doing so, the dead body of Batman falls out, and the Joker panics. Albert, not really sure what's going on, all he sees is a dead body of Batman in the closet. But the Joker tells Albert to go to your room, to not worry about what you saw here today, that it was all just a giant joke, that it's all fake and make-believe. When his wife goes on to ask what is going on with him, the Joker says that Bruce Wayne had just got into his head, making him think that there was something wrong with him. And so he took it on Albert. And so the Joker, he heads out for a drink, saying that there's nothing wrong with him, that there's gotta be something wrong with Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne tried to make him think that Batman might have died, and that there's now some fake Batman out there doing all of this, that it just doesn't make sense. If Batman is alive and well, then everything is fine. Then things are normal and the Joker is normal. But he needs to prove it. He is going to prove that Batman is still alive, and so he is going to try to catch him. Little old Kaiser against the Batman, believing that there is no way he could ever catch the real Batman. And if he can't catch him, then he knows everything is okay. But if he can catch him, that would be a very interesting turn of events. And so he makes the plans. He prepares. That's what picks us up a little later that evening. A couple walking down an alleyway. As they walk down here, a man with a knife comes out. He has come here to rob them. That is where we have the arrival of Batman. Seeing a bunch of other clowned individuals showing up on site, they all begin to charge the Batman who laughs. And this is where the Joker starts cracking some skulls. But all of them at once, they jump on him. We see a poisonous gas that is released. The Batman who laughs saying to wait, because you're gonna kill us all. That you can't kill Batman. That you need him. That we all need him. And as he begins to die, this is where we see Joker wake up. Wake up back in the waking world. All he can think is that that was a very strange nightmare. Grundy and the others letting him know that it's okay because he is safe with friends. But the Joker, he tells everybody to shut up because he's going back to sleep. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This was a great jump into the Joker's psyche. Not only do we get to see a variation of the Batman who laughs, but we get to see that the Joker, he really is nothing without Batman. That without the Bat, he would probably never be the Joker. He would probably never be the man that he is today. That without Batman, he may very likely become the very thing that he has tried to take out all of these years. Obviously, he does it more in the style of Thomas Wayne, where he breaks bones, he breaks necks, and he kills people. But this is more of an exploration on what happens if Batman dies. If the Joker were to actually win, it would break the psyche of the Joker more than he is already broken. You could consider, with Batman alive, the state of the Joker's psyche to be quote-unquote normal. But with the Joker believing that the Batman dies, this breaks him in a way that we never see him break. He becomes boring and mundane, but his subconscious cannot deal with the fact that Batman is dead. So much so that at night, not knowing, unaware that he becomes the Batman. This is how entwined the Joker is to the Batman. This is how much the Joker needs Batman. He needs him to be alive, to be out there in the world doing what he does. And that without him, the Joker is nothing. That if the Joker ever won, it would never truly be a win, because the Joker himself would keep the Dark Knight alive. He would have to keep him alive. To keep his sanity, the Batman must live. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, if you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series. Be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this story. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.